Hey, welcome back to Random BS. I know I was supposed to do a video yesterday, but I was not feeling too well with all this stuff on my face. So, I actually did a short video, and then I deleted it. Okay, so we were supposed to talk about the religion post on Facebook, but it has about 189 comments, and that would be too long for right now. So, another one came up today where I guess a hairdresser went back to work, and it shows a picture of a customer sitting in a seat having her hair done, and then the guy that posted it said, "If this is you, stop, just stop." So the title of it is, "A hairstylist who worked while showing symptoms exposed 91 people to coronavirus." 58 comments and 9 shares. So someone said, "And not one of them even reported as sick." And then another comment, "Dude, it takes up to 2 weeks to show symptoms." I wish people knew how to spell. If they do at all. But if they catch it, they can pass it on to their friends and family members. So someone said, "Geez, what do you think? It's immediate?" And then someone else said, "Girl, what the F is wrong with you?" So someone else said, "BS, BS, BS," because a lot of people don't believe that a lot of these stories going around are true. In fact, everyone now is like, fake news, fake news. And I would like to know how they know that. Besides, they've just been trained to recognize as truth only what our authority figures have conditioned them to believe, so everything is BS. And then again, it also depends on where you stand politically as to which stuff is true and which is false. Let's see. It's unclear if the stylist showed positive or tested positive. So this guy read the article. But 91 people were exposed to her. But 91 people were exposed to her, or was it 84? Are any of these people actually sick? Guys, did you bother reading the article? And then post the article. Then the quicker we catch this thing, the quicker we develop herd immunity and are done with it. Do you really honestly think we are not going to get this? And then I put hallelujah. And then someone put, actually, no. One of the other hairstylists is now sick with it too. So it's just a chain reaction. And then of course somebody puts source, because you're not allowed to say anything without a source ever, because, well, they're brainwashed. You're not allowed to do your own thinking. So this is the problem. And I discuss this in my courses. The ones that regard changing your belief system, because here's the thing. So people just look at things as if, oh, it's just that way and we're just going to deal with it. Well, you don't have to deal with it. Oh, yeah, well, men get paid more than women, and, you know, women are shut up all the time. Yeah, of course they are, because women are sensitive and women know a lot of things, and women were, like, here, the original shamans and witches, and taught men, and so women need to be shut up. So the way that people are taught basically after grade school, if you're writing a paper or if you're talking, or even if you're just on a social network and you're going to find brainwashed people, if you say anything, you have to cite it, because who's going to believe you? You're not allowed to be believable. because the powers that be say so, basically. So once you get to college, you have to cite everything, and if you don't, it's not considered credible. So you have to cite everything you say in order for it to be a reputable academic paper, which is kind of redundant. So the reason for that is because, just like it can't be in first person. So the reason for this is that you're not allowed to have your own ideas, and you can't really have your own theories until an authoritative figure backs you, and it pretty much says what the powers that be want it to say. So our society is basically trained to ask for a source, because you're not allowed to think, because that's a bad thing. So commercials tell you what to do, tell you what to eat, tell you how to dress, tell you where to eat, what color your hair should be. Well, they make it seem like you have freedom. So they put this many colors out, so you're free to choose from this array of colors, right? It's the same thing with fast food and, well, pretty much everything. So you can't really think on your own, but they make you think you're thinking on your own. And then this is so ridiculous that every single time I see something that comes up on my homepage from someone else's posting on their page, that every time somebody answers a question because they are interested in the article or just want to negate something that someone else says, they of course comment, and then everybody always wants to have a source. Who's your source? Or then they just put fake news, which is becoming really annoying. So let's see. Stop blaming people. Every adult who leaves their house assumes their own risk. That's true. And then the original poster said, nope, you're wrong here too, because he knows. So why doesn't anybody ask him for a source when he's telling somebody they're wrong? Many adults believe they being kept safe, even if it's not true. And I have answers to these on the bottom, and I don't feel like scrolling up and down. So then someone said, wait, he's wrong, but then you add, even if it's not true. That doesn't make sense. Even if they falsely believe they are being kept safe, they still are assuming risk. And then someone said, shut up, OMFG. And if you're showing symptoms, are still working closely with people, you're probably a POS. I mean, come on. Even if you believe some make-believe story about assuming your own risk, you have to know you could kill someone. No? Then someone else said, the world doesn't stop because you're scared and want it to. Soon 50 states will be fully open, and we'll all be murderers for getting up and going to work every day. ? I don't know what dream world you think you're living in, but I highly recommend not procreating. Oh, these people really do just take all of this so personally. Like, I've seen so many arguments on here, which I'm sure the powers that be are really happy about, because people are just being distracted and arguing with each other, just separating. Let's see, he said, I mean, if you're knowingly infecting people, that's effed up. Yes, that is, but anyway. So I responded to someone, that's because they're brainwashed in this matrix that they choose to stay in. And then I responded to someone else I'll go with actually they believe that they are safe because the government tells them they are because they're brainwashed puppets. But anyway, someone else said, by your logic, to another guy, by your logic, that woman had a right to knowingly expose them to her germs and take their money, but not tell them she was sick. They were just stupid to leave their home. Really? Morals and ethics have nothing to do with that. I'll bet the health department has something to say about that. I know I actually responded to that one. Oh, I did. Morals and ethics should also be applied when we're talking about the government. Maybe Trump doesn't set an example by wearing a mask, but what the government usually does is set an example, and everyone is following exactly what they're proving to do, which is confuse the masses. So everyone is confused, and I know not everyone knows that they have been infected, and for those of you who don't know or don't bother to see because you only listen to what they tell you to listen to and to fact check, this virus has been in the U.S. since November, and I wouldn't doubt it was here before. Therefore, everyone was walking around without a clue that the virus was here. No safety measures, pretty much herd immunity from November until lockdown in March. Where are the morals and ethics there? And of course I say that because nobody ever mentions here or realizes that the virus has been here since November. They think, okay, well, heard of it sometime around holiday time, after more like maybe New Year's or whatever. But I don't even know that a lot of them are aware of that. They're aware basically that the WHO informed everyone that there was a virus January 30th and that we were locked down in March, although all states were different and so are different countries as far as timing, but that's pretty much what they know. So when I discuss herd immunity and how if you're social distancing, if you're not wearing a mask, that's your call. You know the risks, and if you believe in herd immunity, that's your business. And people argue you're selfish, but no. If you're wearing a mask and you're doing what you feel is safe, and other people choose not to wear a mask, we're not harming you because you're wearing a mask, right? So quit arguing. But they like to do that. So since they don't realize all of this, and that it's actually been here since the end of 2019, they don't realize that they've already gone through the process of herd immunity. So if you're getting locked down 4 months after the fact, you've already been walking around, talking with people, not sanitizing, not wearing masks, and then here you are mid-March, suddenly on lockdown after it's probably already spread through the population of the United States. So, and then the original poster said to me, yes, most who listen and believe Trump are brainwashed. I agree. Of course I didn't say that. I'm saying listening to all this other crap, including some of the posts that he makes. And then I said, I'm not just talking about Trump, I'm talking about a lot of our authoritative figures. Anyway, somebody else. You're going to be exposed at some point or another unless you just stay boarded up in your house forever. This virus will never be 100% eradicated from the earth. Yeah, I mean, it will probably turn into another seasonal virus. So why not become immune? I mean, because I don't know about you, but I'm not taking a vaccine, so. Not besides they're all suck, some of them don't work, and they're very unhealthy for you, and they cause a lot of problems with a lot of people that people don't want to open up their eyes and realize. I've just not going to take it. I never had a flu shot, and I have asthma and allergies, and I'm not going to have it. So, and I'm not certainly going to have this one, no matter what Gates says. Alright, then he said, okay, so eradicated from the earth, and then the poster said, nope, it can be fully avoided if people simply follow guidelines. And then someone gave the okay. Did I already read this one? And then I said to him, since he said, nope, it can fully be avoided if people simply follow guidelines, like he really believes that at this point it could be eradicated. But I mean, it's gone through how much of the population, so it's not like we took preventative measures at the very beginning and then just a couple of people were infected and then everyone stayed at home in a timely fashion and then it would be eradicated. That's not exactly what happened, so I don't know what he thinks he's talking about. So I said, I know that some of us go back and forth, and that's because everybody's fully brainwashed, because we do. We just, like, back and forth, stupid arguments, where's your sources, fake news, what are you talking about? Anyway, and even if you're not brainwashed, you and other people are not looking at the facts. If you haven't had it, you're lucky. You haven't had it for some odd reason. This thing has been in the United States since at least November, and we didn't get locked down until March. That's 4 months of people walking around not knowing there was a virus in the States and not playing it safe because they had no idea. So basically, we've already been practicing herd immunity, which some of us believe in, but even if we didn't, it wouldn't matter because we've already practiced it. And then somebody said to somebody else, they have to feel they are in control to function, and then the poster said, I agree. I don't know what that was about. Someone else said, why is getting a hairstyle or nails done essential? Well, it's not. So, someone said, why does it have to be essential if it's my choice and it's the stylist's choice? It's doing nothing to you, and frankly, it's none of your business. So he said, if you're getting sick getting your nails done, highlights done, that's on you. Don't rage on the person trying to make a living, because if you don't want to go, they can't stay open and make money. That was kind of in opposition to what he said in the first place, but... And then he said, you're right, I could care less if you get sick because your hair needed to be done. I don't give a shite. And then she said, good, you shouldn't. And then he said, my point is, that's supposed to say don't. Bitches, nobody should bitch. My point is D-I and then space T. Bitch is nobody should bitch if it turns out that their hairdresser got them sick. I don't care if you go. I want to sit in a bar and go to the gym. If I go and get sick, it's on me because I made the choice. And then he also said, LOL, yeah, I don't agree. I'm going to take risks for what's important to me. We all will. I was just pointing out, if we get sick doing what we want, let's not blame anybody else. And then she said, nobody was bitching about except the officials. And then he said, then I'm officially on your side. However, I really didn't think my 70-year-old mom needed to get her hair done, and she went. What's funny is she's afraid generally because she must watch CNN. But damn, she had to get her hair done. You know, and I love this because they're like constantly saying, including Trump, that CNN is fake news. Like all the news on TV and cable is censored. So that is fake news too. I don't know what these people are talking about. Just see, there again, if you say CNN is fake news, then all other news must be true, except for YouTube, of course. You know, if you go to Disneyland and you're having a great time on your vacation that you get once per year after slaving like a dog for whoever and not caring a bit about yourself all year long, you're in this magical place, and it's Disney or it's wherever else, and that is so far-fetched that it makes your life seem like it's real. I mean, same thing. Like, nobody really gets this. It's like they want to know why I say these things all the time. They think I'm strange. I'm a conspiracy theorist. No, you're dumb, and you don't, like, and stop telling me how dumb I am and where do I get my information. I mean, it's all out there and plain to see. This is fake news, right? Because all of this other news is real, even though it's censored. This is a fantasy life. It's Disney. And you're living the life that you really want to live when you go back home. No, you're control puppets dealing with this. And you can see it in every single thing that happens in this society, Western civilization. But whatever. No, you can't talk for yourself. You have to have someone else back that for you. You're not allowed to talk. Okay, nobody was bitching about this except the officials. Then I'm fine on your side. And then someone said, so gambling is essential. Everyone wants the casinos open. You know, and that's another point. How much of a joke is this? So, it went from the first cases were found in China in December to then they didn't tell the WHO until December 31st, and then on January 30th, the WHO released the information, and then the whole world was confused, and okay, so that was that story. And then it went from, they found cases in November, and so, okay, so not only did you wait a whole month from December to tell the WHO December 31st, but now you have cases in November, and so that's basically a month and a half, 2 months that you just decided, even though that you signed that would never happen, that it happened. And so while I don't remember who it was, and I'm not going to cite it, because if you really don't believe me, you can look it up yourself, because you have the potential to do research just like everybody else does, and you don't need permission. And I'm not going to lead you to it when you can find it yourself, because I'm not going to tell you what to think. So, but I was reading that through an investigation, they were trying to figure out why China was hiding information, if it was indeed really China. Okay, so why they were hiding information. But what they found so far, I haven't looked in about a week, but what they found so far was that they were trying to track cell phone activity right around the that Wuhan lab. You know, because first it was the wet market and then it was the lab, and they have a story for both, which is kind of amazing. So I mean, who knows? So the wet market was immediately closed and cleaned up, right? And then the lab, they are saying that they found different activity at some point in October, leading them to believe that something happened in the lab in October. Okay, so basically, if that is true, somebody was sick in October, so now we're talking October, November, December, January, February, March. So now we're talking 5 months after the fact we get locked down. Do we not think that it's swept through the population already? I don't know, call me crazy. Okay, I know everyone talks about following guidelines. No one addresses that we are extremely unhealthy as a society. Yes, people discuss it all the time. You guys just don't believe in YouTube, and that's the problem. And to me, YouTube is just a bunch of real people trying to get messages out. I mean, yeah, some people are foolish, and some people lie, and some people like to start crap, but for the most part, it's just people who can't really say anything on the news, or who can't go on certain social platforms and state their opinion without getting attacked and having people tell them to cite them, and you need a source. I mean, and I'm not saying that people don't cite people on YouTube. I'm just saying you can do what you want to on your channel, in your video, and it's up to the people who are watching it to decide on their own without being told to by the powers that be. It's up to them to believe you or not to believe you, and to do the research for themselves, because they're perfectly capable of doing so. So, I love how everyone is talking about following guidelines. No one addresses that we are extremely unhealthy as a society. Everyone wants to wear masks and gloves to reduce the risk. Let's talk about general health. People eat like shit, binge drink, chain smoke, engage little to physical activity. Engage little to, you probably meant little to none, or little to no physical activity. Yet, sitting at home incubated is the answer. I mean, yeah, he's right. All of that. I mean, he can find all of that information, of course, on YouTube and some of my blogs and whatever, if these people would open their minds. And, sitting home incubated, yeah, because people are sitting at home, not becoming immune to anything at this point. They're just like sitting sterile. So when I had mentioned after someone's post, another post today, that the numbers are going to spike again when everything's open, what do you mean it's going to spike again? Well, what I mean is it's going to spike again, but I'll read that one after, if I have a minute. Something is missing in the story, someone said. And then here we go again. Fake news. Stop reading rags, people. And then someone said, so it didn't happen? Because it's in quite a few other news outlets also, just saying. And then he puts on a picture with two men sitting on the couch, looking at butt cheeks on a television with toilet bowls as heads, with the toilet bowl open. And it says, liberals waiting for CNN to bring them the news. Gosh, everybody's so freaking brainwashed, I can't even deal with it sometimes. And then she said, she laughed and said, I don't even know what this means, ha ha ha, but okay. And then I said to her, everyone suddenly knows what fake news is. And then the guy who posted that stupid picture said, no, I always seem Democrat bullshit for what it is. More people have died from drug overdoses over the last few months. Yeah, I mean, he's right. Because we all say that, and then we get yelled at for saying that. What do you want to see? More people die? What, enough people haven't died? It's just becoming annoying, and every single discussion is on this, and every commercial, there's something to do with your home is this, you're unified by your home, and COVID this, COVID that. I mean, and then you open up Google to do a search on something, and then it, of course, says in red something about COVID virus, and then every single web page you open is the same thing. So you guys getting it? COVID, 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 COVID. This is the new normal. This is not my new normal. And then I said, I wasn't saying that about you, but yeah, I see through the BS also, and the brainwashed people, and I'll keep saying they're brainwashed until they realize they're brainwashed, that post all of this crap, that don't realize that the virus has been here since at least November, and we've been gaining the herd immunity, and suddenly in March everyone is locked down and they are afraid to live. Oh, and someone like that one, that's awesome. Because sometimes they don't understand me, and sometimes they just think I pull my information, I guess, out of my ass, I don't know. Hello to you too, goodbye, I'm doing something. Okay. And then for that original post of the hairdresser, someone put, wow. And then someone said to somebody, stop being a bitch. And then somebody said, just wear a mask, and shows pictures of masks because, you know, if you didn't show that, nobody would know what a mask looked like. And then the guy who said, no, I always seem demo rat bullshit for what it is, blah, blah, blah. And who posted the toilet bowl heads put another picture of skulls, of a white skull, a black skull, an Asian skull, a gay skull, a straight skull, and I can't read what that is, and said, we are all the same underneath, except some. And then the original poster said, I guess the point we can all agree on is what this woman did was wrong. If she knew she was sick, then she knew others would get sick. It would be stupid to think otherwise. She just didn't care about anyone but herself, and this is why the virus will be around longer than it should be, because of people like this. Yeah, that's the reason why. Has nothing to do with when we were locked down and how long it was going around the country beforehand. Ronald. And then somebody said, we all don't agree. You should read the comments and stop assuming. Yep, true. And then he said, the same guy, they don't agree, and then showed some of the comments. And then he put more comments. They don't agree either, so we don't all agree. And then someone was commenting to the original post of the hairdresser. She probably needed the money. They came willingly. She apparently wasn't symptomatic choices. And then someone said, do you know how many people come into the casino sick AF? Cough in the dealer's face, dig into every orifice they have, stick their hand, I guess he meant stick their hands down their pants to scratch, don't wash their hands or even go to the bathroom on themselves. Yep, and that's all true. And that ends that one. And then a lot of these are just, we need to open the economy, let's go back to work. And I really am not even going to read that because it's the same crap over and over again. Same stories, just the original post is worded different or something like that. Anybody know when Red Rock and Valley of Fire parks open up? How are they more dangerous and less essential than Walmart? I always ask the question, well, the past few months, like, who's to say what's essential? I mean, one governor decided in her state that seeds aren't essential, so nobody's allowed to buy seeds. I mean, who the F do you think you are, telling people what is essential and not? That would be essential, just in case, you want to go off-grid, not deal with this crap, and grow your own food. I mean, obviously, you need seeds to grow your own food, because everyone's eating freaking genetically modified fruit, so maybe we want real fruit. Go figure. And I was looking for, maybe a month and a half ago, large crystals for protection, against 5G and, just in general. And I wasn't really sure if I had to order online because I know that would be highly non-essential to the powers that be. They'll probably have them guarding the perimeter of their homes with real fruit trees in their backyards or wherever they're doing underground, who knows. Okay, so that was my discussion on a post for the day. I might even do another one, but I'm not sure. So this, when we were discussing how they like to change things around, like here this is fake news but all the rest is real, here this is Disney, it's a fantasy but your life is so real, and you create your own reality, blah, blah, blah. And how they do all of this with like the media and hyper reality and trick you into being a brainwashed puppet. Well, I mean, it's the same thing with bad words, right? Who made up bad words? I mean, surely people don't really think that it has anything to do with God. Like, if God was sitting in some heaven and said, this, and this, these are bad words, do not use them. But we know that's not true. So who then? Who decided words are bad? The government? I mean, okay, so some words came out. I tried to find out the history of a couple of cuss words a few years ago because I was thinking about this and writing about this, that, you know, about the belief systems and words and all of this, because that's my real interest behind all of everything, behind the law of attraction, behind all of this, behind everything that everyone talks about on YouTube in our spiritual tribe. What they're saying is all true, but behind all of that is your belief system, behind everything they talk about. That's what I talk about. So behind all of that is your belief system. So it's all your belief system is, or your thoughts and your belief system are one and the same. And then the words that come out of your mouth. So it would seem that if these are bad words and you can't say these bad words, then all the other words you say are okay. You know, even they'll say, oh, that's negative or whatever, like, oh, I can't do this and I don't have that, and just everything. Every other word is good because these are the bad words. So there's another trick. I mean, and people don't see this. It's like really insane, you know? And then another thing I wondered about a few years ago is like anything that comes after I am, basically, I'm not going to say happens. It depends on how you're thinking about it and what your belief system is. But so that I am are the two most important words that there are, because anything that you say after that is supposed to become your reality or come to fruition, right? So I thought, I am is strong when you say it. You're saying I am something, right? But when you say I'm, it means nothing. I mean, maybe it does to you, but where did contractions and why? Or let me take a guess. Did somebody decide we should not say I am and we should say I'm? Doesn't that appear to be weird to you? Like, let's change the wording around, because words really mean a lot. You can think things to come into reality, yes, because of your feelings. So your thoughts, things you think have certain feelings attached to them depending on how you feel about what you're thinking, and those feelings give off vibrations, and that's really what decides whether it's a high vibration or a low vibration to the universe, and that's how you get back what you're thinking through your emotions, your vibrations. And then you look at the things you see on TV, or I mean even in real life, if you hang out with witches or whatever, that witches use words. So those words are, though, attached to thoughts, and both are attached to emotions. And when there's a difference in the way you say a word, like if I right now say I am or I'm, I feel way more confident saying I am. I'm is just lazy, and it doesn't mean the same thing, and it doesn't carry the same vibration, just in case anyone didn't know that. I just thought I'd throw that in. So think about what bad words are, and then think about why we have contractions, because they're lazy and stupid, and you're not allowed to use them in an academic paper. Duh, right? You're not allowed to use them because you sound like a moron. So basically, everyone else, you all use it and sound like morons and never get what you want. Yep, that's the idea of it. Okay, hyper-reality. I spoke about that a little bit, about Disney World. That it makes you think that the lives we live are real and created by ourselves, because there's just so much magic out there. But anyway, I have papers and lots of things on hyperreality, so I'm not going to talk about that tonight. One of my books of 12 is based on hyperreality because it truly influences us. Fluoride. I don't know if I spoke about fluoride this week. I think I always talk about fluoride to people, especially people in the stores. My daughter thinks I'm insane, so stop talking to people in the store and telling them what to do. I'm like, well, they should know that they shouldn't drink certain water because it has fluoride in it, right? Why would I not tell somebody something I know? It's their choice what to do with that information after, but I'm going to tell them. And also to use toothpaste that does not have fluoride in it, like Tom's of Maine. But that's not it. I was looking a while back, and I thought they were out of my toothpaste, the Tom's of Maine. And then I found quite a few other brands that now have toothpaste without fluoride. So let me just take a look at this one, because probably your kids will like it if you allow them not to have fluoride. And then, mind you, if you mention it to the dentist like I did, and I said you're not putting that fluoride treatment in my daughter's mouth, she was kind of offended. So if you decide to wake up and tell them that you don't want fluoride in your children's anything because it affects their pineal gland, among other things, it's not healthy, then you might want to get stuff that's more fun for them. And actually this one tastes good. Like Tom's of Maine doesn't taste so great. My daughter didn't like it, and she chose to ask me for any toothpaste that tastes better than Tom's of Maine. She understands, that the fluoride's not good for you, but she kind of likes the taste of real toothpaste. I mean, I can't really argue with that, but I'd rather have toothpaste that tastes like crap so that I don't have the fluoride. So let me grab that. Okay, it's this Hello. And it's fluoride free. And I say fun because everyone has these new like charcoal masks and charcoal masks for your hair as well, not just your skin. And this is activated charcoal and hemp seed oil. So for those of you parents who might say hemp, yes, because actually we have I guess some type of hemp properties in our bodies, and it's not something that we normally, I'm sure most people think that if they buy hemp seeds that they're hurting their children, but it's actually something that we need. It's like a deficiency, kind of like if you didn't take or have enough vitamin C, then you would have that vitamin deficiency. Well, we have the hemp deficiency, and I'm not telling you to go out and smoke weed or whatever. I don't smoke, but I'm just saying this is not the same. Anyway, that tastes good. It's black when you brush your teeth, and it's just kind of odd to me, but the generations of the last 2 generations seems to like things like this. Has anyone noticed anything strange about birds? Because I just noticed the other day people were saying, oh, it's so great out again, and I think somebody even said it on Facebook. I'm not sure who it was. I mean on YouTube. In one of their videos, the air is clearing, and it is true. It feels so much better out. I'm really sensitive, so this virus that's been going around, I actually, whether it's that or 5G, I don't know what it was, but I felt something in the air, and it obviously is bothering me. See? and it has been for weeks now, and so I was afraid at first. I was like, well, I think the virus is in the air, and that we can all just get it. And I'm thinking this, well, how long does it actually stay in the air? And I'm asking all of these questions. But anyway, I'm not going to give my true opinions on all of that with those two things, because that's not what this video is for anyway, and I don't feel like hearing stupid people come on and tell me what I can and cannot say. So, and they're saying how the birds are happy now, and this, that, the other. Well, I don't know. I feel better air, but as far as the birds, I do not believe that yet. Typically when I'm driving my car, if there's a bird flying, it's already above the car before I'm coming at it. Like the other day, I thought I was going to hit one, and yesterday I thought I was going to run one over. There was a bird in the middle of the street walking, and I had to slow down so I wouldn't hit the bird, and then it slowly just took off, like as if it didn't know what it was doing. And the bird the day before that was flying, like I had to slow down also, and I just kind of pulled back, like, what's going on? The birds are slower. So a week ago, a friend told me that she and some other people, she does security, she and some other people saw birds gnawing at 5G wiring. That apparently it's driving them crazy. And I mean, I happen to believe that. But I've seen something strange with birds for quite some time though anyway. It's been a while. It's almost like day is night and night is day. I mean, my schedule, I am a night owl, no doubt about it. I always have been. But my hours are becoming worse, and I'm trying to get them better. And then I thought, all right, just go with it. Maybe you'll just stay up so late one day when it's almost time for bed, and then you'll just be back on track. I shouldn't be saying that, but I feel like everything's backwards. Like, I used to always hear birds just tweeting away in the sunlight and in the trees, and a couple years ago I started hearing birds just tweeting away at night, and I'm not saying they don't do that. There's just things that happen with certain populations in certain regions that you get used to, and then all of a sudden it changes. So the birds have been strange for quite some time. It's not just now. It's worse now, but yeah. So I don't know how well, they think the birds and the fish are doing. The air, sure, it's clearing up, because most of the poisonous, toxic people have been staying in their homes, and I don't mean that from the disease or from the virus. Another thing I noticed, so I thought, this is becoming so ridiculous with these hours I've had, because it wasn't just me, it was my daughter also. She's my youngest. My other ones have children. Anyway, and so I was getting, and I'm feeling better now. All of this, I think, is from many reasons, because like my face doesn't just typically, I get rashes every once in a while, but this is crazy. Like, see that? Like, what is that? Why is that? That's just annoying. And sometimes, I mean, it doesn't really itch. It's just, I can't even really explain what it does. I don't want to scratch it. It's just there, and it annoys me. And then, so I realized the sleeping, and then headaches, and then this, and, well, I thought it's this, it has to be the Wi-Fi. So I have the laptop on, and then at night, which is on the other side of this, so if the laptop is on, it's right behind my head, and then I put my phone by my feet, or there's a table over there. I was sleeping with it by my head, but now I have speakers over here, so I can listen to calming music when I go to sleep, or Om or whatever, and, you know, mantras. And I figure, okay, that's great. This is a speaker over there, and then if I feel like watching my phone, I have speakers over there, and I just set it up so I have what I need wherever. But that was not good, because I was getting headaches as of a couple of days ago. So I said, let me turn off, because I don't ever turn this Wi-Fi off. If it goes off itself, I just put it back on, so it's always on. So I turned it off the other night, closed the laptop, and I actually turned off my phone. I had great sleep. And so it was actually the Wi-Fi. And nobody ever wants to hear fake news, fake this, blah, blah, blah. This actually happened. So here's a person over here telling you that this happened. I had my phone on my lap last week. No, this is from last week. I had my phone on my lap a couple of weeks ago, and I did it a few times, like in the same spot, because I was doing something while I was actually going to the bathroom. And I think I was doing something also with my hands. So there was my phone. And then suddenly I had 2 bruises on my legs, both, like one on each side, exactly where the phone was. And I, at first, didn't put 2 and 2 together. I'm like, where are these bruises coming from? Am I sick with cancer? Because they say that you can bruise easily if you have cancer, but it appears to me that over the years, when I could have been actually having cancer, and I decided that I knew that, and I stopped doing something to get rid of it, that I felt better. That's just how sensitive people are. So, but it wasn't that. This week I have 1 bruise on one side, and I realized, oh, you had your phone on this side. And then someone on Facebook, who was supposed to be a friend of mine, and I realized wasn't a friend. We're still friends on Facebook. We don't talk with each other because I don't know how he feels about me, but I do not like him because he's a liar. And I don't like people who try to screw other people's lives up by making themselves look better. And that's what he tried to do. But when I pulled up Facebook, and then you know how it goes to your homepage, on the homepage his post came up, and he was showing some kind of scarring or very, very bad, I'm not even going to say rash, it looked like a burn, like he had burns on his body from his phone. And he showed the picture. So if you're getting headaches or something of the nature that I've explained between myself and this man, you may consider turning off your phone at night. Now, I don't really like turning off my phone because I use it as an alarm, and one of my kids might have an emergency, call me from their home or wherever they are, whatever's happening, and I don't like to turn it off. So I continue to turn this off every night, and now I just leave my phone on that table, and I'll leave it on. I just, not that socks make a difference, but I'll try and put socks on and just cover my feet a certain way where it's not affecting me. And I haven't had headaches. It was the 2. Like, that was just too much. This Wi-Fi in the laptop comes from Cox, and then the Wi-Fi from my phone, I mean the internet on my phone is AT&T. So turning one of them off was a good thing. So I don't have these constant headaches anymore, and I'm actually sleeping a little bit better, a little more sound, because I mean right now I hear frequencies, but that's just normal for me, because I can hear things and see things, so that's normal. But this was way different. This was actually disturbing. I thought my head was going to blow up, and I never do this, but I was sitting there all last week holding my head like as if it was going to explode, like it was actually being cooked from the inside, sad to say. So I guess basically that's it for some things that I thought I should mention. Fluoride, contractions, bad words. See, my head right now is kind of bugging me. And it's really funny because I placed the phone over here tonight and I had it here, and my first few videos on this channel the phone was a little bit further away from me, but now I'm staring at the laptop, which is right here, and this phone, and I'm having a minor headache. So that's better. So, and then maybe on that note, we'll talk about how you can heal yourself. And I'm not talking about anything that you need to go to the doctor for. I'm talking about simple things like that. And, well, there are a lot of simple things to some of us that are not so simple to other people. So sometimes it's kind of hard to recommend because then people think that you're giving medical advice, but that's not what's happening. People are just like, everyone now is wanting to come to Vegas because everything's opening up, and I don't know how good that's going to be because people are not being very careful right now to begin with. Things are opening up, and like I said, I don't wear a mask unless I really feel like I have to, like if I'm in a big crowd or like there's elderly people. Not that I think I'm sick right now. I'm sure, like, I've had to have had it. Because I believe at the end of November, I was in contact with somebody who actually had it before anyone knew it was here. But, you know, they say hindsight is 20/20, so. Today, was it? Yeah, today. I posted or yesterday I posted this 22 hours ago. Fears rise. Fears rise over emerging hotspots and a second wave. Then /deadline, and then MSNBC, and on the cover is Trump. I didn't recognize him. His face is not orange, and his hair looks like it's closer to his face. And so I posted that, and someone said, Miss DNC, LOL. Doesn't seem like anyone I know or people around where I am at are worried at all. I think most people are ready to move forward. And then I put absolutely, because they're all talking about going back to work, because even though for I don't know how many years I've been saying you're like a slave in the Matrix, and I know people don't really always have a choice, or people are not awake to the fact that this is what's going on. But they are so, like, opposed and complain a lot about getting up and going to work and not having my own business. I bust my ass and I don't have anything I want. But now that's taken away from them. And they can't wait to get back to work, and they can't wait for life to be like it. Well, of course, it's never going to be like it was, because the whole world is different now. We live in a different world. And it will never, ever be the same, and that's a good thing. But we're not finished. It's going to change more. Anyway, so I put absolutely, and then someone put liberal news, and second wave with a question mark. They aren't caught up on COVID tests. Okay, I'm not really sure what that had to do with what this post was about, or, second wave, yeah, there's that possibility. So, but what do the tests have to do with they're not being caught up have to do with that. So I said, exactly right. They're not caught up. Further, they didn't have testing in time. They locked down too late, therefore numbers are inaccurate for at least two reasons. One, we were locked down at least 4 months after the outbreak, and two, COVID is logged as cause of death for some cases that weren't actually COVID, and we don't know what the number is. Opening back up means that those who are infected may infect those of you being tested to return to work. So while people were infecting the U.S. as early as November of 2019, and a stewardess I know was awfully sick in November and December, there are way more cases that weren't documented. Each of those people infecting a few people. By the time we were locked down in March, the number of people infected were much higher than they thought. Enough to sweep through the nation because no one had a clue that they had to be careful at the time as a result of the information held from us. As soon as they open, there will be a spike in numbers. Let's hope they are more prepared. So the guy actually gave a thumbs up and then shares a link, estimates of the severity of coronavirus disease 2019, thelancet.com. So I started reading it, but I needed to go do delivery, so I didn't quite finish. And then he shared another link, which I'll probably read when I wake up later. COVID-19 death rate is 0.66% and increases with age study estimates. Yes, and this we know. That they're saying that there's this large number, and I'm trying to tell everyone that the number is not correct because, one, if it was already here for 4 months and we didn't get locked down, we certainly didn't have any accurate numbers because, according to all of us, we were walking around, everything was still open, and we had no idea that we had to play it safe. So people were just walking around basically infecting each other, and as 4 months go by, they're not going to show any more symptoms, even whether they had it at the time or they had it previously. So those people weren't tested. Those people no longer had symptoms, and they were no longer sick. So forget those numbers, and who knows how many thousands that could have been over a 4 month period. So we're way off there. And so that was the shutdown, and even, lockdown. And so even after locking down, there were no tests here. I mean, for Pete's sake, we didn't even have enough masks, so that was a problem too, because that as much as it scared people, because people are just in constant fear during this, not everybody, but that if they had to go out or if they had to buy something for their kids, they were going to wrap whatever they could, which I saw, handkerchiefs, bandanas and whatever around their faces, and I'm pretty sure that really doesn't keep much out. And I'm sure that they, at that point, had not learned how to actually wear something properly on their faces and not actually touch their face, because it's kind of like the same thing like when you wear gloves in a restaurant. You're like, you need to wear gloves for safety. No, you don't. I mean, you should if you know how to use them, but otherwise it defeats the purpose. Please take them off and make my food by washing your hands and making sure there's nothing on them, because otherwise, and I know because I've worked in several restaurants, otherwise people use gloves and they think that their hands are clean because they're wearing gloves, and they forget the fact that they're touching every freaking thing in the place and then touching your food because they have gloves on. But it's kind of like the same thing when you wear a mask and you don't know how to wear a mask and you just kind of put it on and you're touching every single thing and then you're touching your face. I mean, in the beginning they told us, don't wear a mask. If you're sick, wear a mask. And I know this and remember this, and of course other people do, but they're like, that's because they just needed them for medical. No, that's because they were telling you that it doesn't do anything for you to wear a mask. I mean, obviously doctors and nurses or any kind of medical staff who wears a mask, they're either used to it or trained to wear a mask properly. You're not doing that right, because it's kind of like the same concept as wearing gloves that you touch everything with. You feel like, first of all, you're covering your nose and your mouth. Sometimes people don't even have their noses covered. I mean, I know that today I had to go into a place that never tells us to wear a mask, but today it's like, please, if you enter, wear a mask. I said, they've got to be kidding. I have asthma. I'm not going to wear a mask and kill myself because I start to feel faint when I can't breathe. And I should be breathing air, you know? So I, like some other people, I went in to respect them, but I wore the mask over here and not on my nose. So the people who are doing that are defeating the purpose. Your nose is open. And even when they do cover their noses, your eyes are open. So I have to ask some people on Facebook, oh really, you're bitching me out because I don't want to wear a mask? And there's something going on our planet that I think that I should be immune to, and I don't want to shut anything down as it is. I have my own medical problems, like with asthma, so leave me alone. You do you, and I'll do me, and then you're safe because you're wearing a mask, so you say. So I said, are you also wearing goggles? And she's like, no, I wear my mask and I wear my gloves. Okay, so you're not wearing goggles, so shut the F up, basically. Don't tell me what to wear. You don't have a whole plastic face mask on. You're not wearing goggles. And I can assure you, you're touching your face. And like people in the restaurant, you think that your hands are clean and you're safe because you're safe. Your hands are safe. And then you take them off. Hopefully you don't touch the outside on the inside, because I did that for a while in the beginning. I had to touch the pin pads to get into gates to deliver food to customers, and I was like, ew. So I would buy these cheap plastic gloves and just take them off every time, and I'm glad they were cheap because that's a waste. But anyway, people just talk a lot of crap. So he has, death rate is 0.66%. Okay, so the numbers that would be way off. So besides those reasons why the numbers would be way off, like the fact that it was going around for 4 or 5 months before anyone was put on lockdown, is also because of that fact that a few weeks ago we were talking about that if a hospital has the virus cases come in, they get 13,000 or 13,900, whatever. But if they have to be put on a ventilator, then I think the price was up to, they get $39,000 or something. So I guess the story going around was that they were doing it on purpose. Like the hospitals were doing it on purpose. And then so when we post something like this, like, no, the numbers aren't correct because the hospitals are logging things as cause of death being the virus when it's really something else, they became irate. Like, that's not true, fake news, where's your source, blah, blah, blah. And I said, well, that's not really what is meant. People are doing it. I know this because I know that there's a quick care here up the street that does it. Everyone who walked in before they even checked them, oh, you have the virus. So yeah, so some of us see things like this, and so we know it's true. Also, it is true because people in hospitals have said it on YouTube, but of course YouTube's not credible. There are doctors who work in emergency rooms. Also, a couple of researchers. Yes, this is basically what we're told to do. Mark it down as this. Okay. You know, and I said to some of these people, it's okay. The reason why they're doing it, or if the government's telling them to do it, that's not okay. When people do things like that, even in restaurants, to get more money for their restaurant or whatever it is they're working in, I mean, I kind of get it. Is it cheating? Well, in a hospital, no. When you're going through a pandemic like this and you don't feel like you have enough ventilators, you don't have enough masks, you don't have enough anything, there's no room to put people, and you can get more money, that's a great thing. But as far as the numbers go, that's not a great thing. That's just really cheating the numbers. So with all of those factors, there's no way that our numbers could ever be accurate, that they can't be from any time on. And typically after a virus is when the numbers are accurate, because you need to go through it the first time to get all the numbers. So since our whole thing was screwed up, we'll never have the correct numbers. Maybe, other countries do, because they really put their people on lockdown and before us, but still not in time. But in doing research, their numbers were as low, the death rate from this virus was as low as 0.2 to 0.36%, which they claim here that it's like 9%, it's these outrageous numbers. No, it's not. Yes, the older people have a higher rate. They're more at risk. But over the overall is like 0 point something, no higher than 1%. And that came from a few different countries. So you would really have to figure the same here. But unfortunately we can't, because there are a bunch of lion dogs here. So yeah, that's really about that. And you just might want to question why it took the WHO more than a month to let the news out. And I'm just giving them the month. I'm sure it was longer, but let's say a month. And then please tell me who's credible and who I should be citing, because I did ask somebody that. Anyways, he posts these things with the percentages, and then someone else got on and said the spike in numbers we will probably have will be because everyone's immune system will be messed up being on lockdown. Our bodies are supposed to be used to building immunity and creating resistance, which is what I keep telling everyone, but they want to yell at me. So I said, I know, thank you. I don't mention the word immunity as much anymore. People are sensitive to the word and attack me. That is probably because I have to defend myself when I mention herd immunity. I, for one, don't like this new normal. It is a crock of shit to me. All of these very careful people don't understand or care that they may be hurting themselves by being safe. That's their choice, and I don't put them down, but they put herd believers down for wanting to become immune to this virus. So yes, the numbers will spike. I see people already walking around like life is as it was months ago. They are wrong. It is a different world right now. I don't have a problem with them suddenly not wearing masks, and they barely listen to social distancing in the restaurants, but don't laugh and breathe on me from less than an arm's length away. And now I mean that for everyone. I don't mean it because of the virus. When people just do that in general, like when you're standing in line and you can feel somebody breathing on your neck, can you keep your distance, please? I can't stand that. Anyway. And then, of course, this guy gets on and he's like, fake news. There's some other guy. You don't even like your profile picture. You just look like a mean person. So I said, okay, nobody seems to know what is or is not fake. Relying on who you were told to rely on doesn't work and hasn't for a long time. The WHO, CDC, FDA, and all of your figures of authority are not 100% credible. So how do you get to decide what is and is not fake news? And that was 9 hours ago, and he didn't answer me. Someone else said he played golf today. Guess W-H-A-Y, right? Each charge it to the government. So far, 275 times, $475 million in his crooked pocket. He is a demon. Well, the guy's talking about Trump playing golf. But, I mean, people just see what they want to see. Last week or a week and a half ago, I was looking for something online. I was researching something for my book, and then I came across somehow that some other people who work, well, there's some kind of government officials, I don't know exactly what their positions are, but they were seen having fun outside, even with their families, while we were told to be on lockdown. But somehow this shocks people. It's what I say, completely asleep. I don't like calling them sheeple, but hey, if the shoe fits. And so I said he wasn't the only one. I was looking at some videos and doing some research the other day for my book, and I saw that people were bitching that there's some other people from the government. Where did that come in? We're out having fun while they had everyone on lockdown. But you know, they are so special. And then someone randomly just put, I love the quarantine months when gas was $1.19 and there was no traffic. Yeah, and me delivering food that was actually kind of pleasant. And being for the past, I don't know, 8 years, I've been saying how gas should never go above $2 or $2.30. This was actually a great time. It was up to me to teach them all a lesson, and I don't even care about supply and demand. Carpool. Do everything against everything that you can. Not in a harmful way, just in a way that makes sense. Like carpool. Besides the fact that that helps Earth, so. This concrete does not, but. So I'll get to that very long religious one another day. I mean, the post was short, but all those comments is a little much for now. I really need to get some sleep. Because there are some things I want to do around the house, include making my soup that would heal so many different things. And I think that I will actually try to make it while shooting a video. Yeah, I could probably do that. If I will for sure be on later talking about something. Probably making soup, but not 100%. And then, because there's some projects I need to do in this camper, and I need to get done with them because they're kind of sitting around scattered, like, you know, my thoughts and brain always are scattered. So my projects are kind of just sitting around. So I have things that I can't put away because I still need to use them. So that's like 5 projects. And then because we were all on lockdown, I was working because I was able to work because of deliveries. But there were some times I couldn't work because I couldn't actually get on the platform because it was so busy from people ordering so much food, like they were never going to have it again, that it was jammed. So there were days I did stay home. I had problems in and out for 3 weeks, and then I was sick for a week, and then my car was down for days to a week. So I was in. So I thought, okay, let's just get all this cheap fun stuff from like discount store and the dollar store, and I have it all in one bucket because I started one project there and then started one project there, so they're sitting in a bucket. So I'd like to get rid of them by actually doing the projects. Also, I don't know if I mentioned, and I know I mentioned it on Facebook, but in another video, get some kind of crystal or whatever. I think any kind of crystal will do. I even use rocks because I kind of power them up myself, so I know they help. But if you do sleep with your phone by your head, if you keep the crystals in front of it, like between you and it, it will probably be better for you if you get headaches or something, or really just in general, because there's the waves. It's like you don't want them in your body. So, and regardless of whether it's 5G or 4G or whatever kind of waves, it's just like, do you want to go sit in a microwave? No. So, just kind of keep crystal there to protect you, so that it keeps the waves out of your body. Other than that, 80 minutes later, I'm not going to read another post. I don't know if I told anybody that in 2019 I contributed, I don't know if it was a chapter or a few paragraphs, to a coaching book that is actually on Amazon. And it was written by Barbara Wainwright. She is the owner of the Wainwright Institute for Coaching, something like that. Anyway, I took her courses last year, and she certified me to be a spiritual coach. But in this book, there are many coaches talking about basically what it's like to coach and what led them to become a coach and so forth. Let's see, coaching. See if I can pull it up again. I tried to pull it up the other day. I'm so glad that I actually contributed to it, and I keep forgetting the name of it. So I could probably look on my blog because I know I have it there. Okay, it's called The Power of Life Coaching, Volume 3. Manifesting Transformation in Financial, Professional, Emotional, Spiritual, Wellness, and Relationship Aspects. Written by Barbara Wainwright. And then I think she had, with me, included maybe 9 contributors. Could have been 10 or 11, I'm not really sure. And our pictures are all on the back of her book, and I just want to say that I just was so happy to do that. And if anyone's interested, it's called The Power of Life Coaching, Volume 3 by Barbara Wainwright, Wainwright. Just recently, in the past 2 or 3 weeks, I also contributed to another book, but it has nothing to do with the life, with any kind of coaching, actually. The author of the book is Jesse Saunders. Jesse Saunders is the originator of house music from back in the 80s, 1980s. And he is a friend of mine. And I think this is his second book. And you might want to take a look at that. I think actually it's on pre-order. And even on pre-order, it's like the #1 music book on Amazon at the moment. While on pre-order, it's not even available yet. Which I think is amazing. Anyway, his name is Jesse Saunders, Saunders, and the book is called In Their Own Words. So it's about house music, because he's the originator of house music, and it's the people who contributed, actually discussed what house music was back in the day to us, how we came about it, and all that. Basically, we're pioneers of that time when house music was evolving from disco, and how we heard about it, and did we play it, and what did we feel, and so I got to be a part of that, and I thought that was pretty awesome. And in fact, sometime later on today, or sometime this week, I believe I'm doing some kind of an interview or something. I was even supposed to do a video, I think, for it. I don't know, I've been very busy this week. But, yeah, I thought that would be interesting to let you know. It's on Amazon, as well as the other book. They're both on Amazon. And shout out once again to Lauren Blair, my daughter, who does makeup videos, showing people how actually what she does is she's learning how to do a lot of things herself. So she's doing her makeup while she's doing the video, and she buys different kinds of makeup, and she's actually just doing like reveals. So she'll open it for you to see while she's talking about whatever she's talking about. And maybe lately she's been talking about the fact that her son just graduated They didn't get to walk this year, but they had their own little celebration, honking horns, in the city this week. A few different people, a few different groups did that for the class of 2020. Just the fan and the hair and the mouth. Also, I know I've mentioned Bring It Into Manifestation.blogspot.com is one of my blogs that I've had since 2015, January of 2015. It's a blog that I never gave the option to follow. I guess I didn't really care to at the time. It was kind of like me knowing that some people knew about it and that they were reading it, but it was also like a journal. Not really just a journal for me, like a journal for anyone who was reading it, just like a journal for them as well. I know that kind of sounds weird, but what I was going to do, which is funny how it changed, that when for this channel, basically I like talking like a lot about everything, so random, and so I was just going to at first just do that, and then I said no, I could probably just pull up my blog so that I can focus more and know what I'm talking about. And if people aren't reading the blog, which I only actually write on a few times a year, I can get information out to them this way, because people only read things, not people, like all people, but the brainwash people typically only read things that they're supposed to read. So I thought if I can get it out this way, that would be great. And then instead, I wind up reading posts from Facebook. But because that's kind of not just interesting, but it's something we need to hear about other people and how they feel. Not just about this virus, but about other things that are taking place, and just in general. And I mean, some people just actually shock me, so I think that I should share that with other people. So anyway, as I was stating this, I only opened the option to follow me a couple of months ago, and I only mentioned it once. I don't really ever market or promote any of my things. They're just kind of there. So, but now I'm trying to do that. So if you do go to bringitintomanifestation.blogspot.com, it's actually bring-it-into-manifestation-blogspot.com, and give a follow. That would be awesome, because right now it's only me following me twice under 2 different names, just like I have 4 different YouTube channels and lots of whatever. Okay, so basically my first post on here, what are we, 88 minutes, 90 minutes? Okay. My first post on here was January 12th of 2015. And let's see what she writes 5 years ago. Me. Bring it into manifestation. You should do this by raising your vibrations that are heard in the universe. Yes, there are tones that the universe recognizes in order for you to receive all that you ask for. So be careful of what you ask for. The videos below will help you to higher your vibration levels. Please watch them and practice with them until you feel you can successfully do this on your own. Welcome to your awakening. These are not American videos, and I am American. However, we must open our minds and learn how other cultures live. Many of them live greater than us. All we have in Western civilization that we have finessed more than others is capitalism, and that does not seem to be working out too well. Unless, of course, you like social class and a great loss of being. We have higher consciousness, so let's use it, folks. Let's use it. Let us use more than 10% of our brain power. Anyway, so my point was that I wanted to post these videos. One is an Om video, and Om is a universal word that carries the 3 sounds of Om into the universe. There are 3 syllables present in the word Om, and they are Ah plus O plus So it was only important for me to put this here because as I'm still speaking with people all these years later about religion and spirituality, people are still saying, oh, but you seem to believe in Eastern religion. No, I don't believe in religion whatsoever at all because it's man-made, so no. What she thinks to be true is not. So we all have this same back in the day because we're spiritual beings. So we all had the same lessons. We all knew the same things. Just because the powers that be in Western society chose to move away from that so they can hide every single thing from us doesn't mean that, well, you're studying or you believe in Western. No, I mean Eastern. No, I believe in the truth. You were moved away from it. So you believe in bullshit and I believe in truth. That's all there is to that. And see, like I said, I barely ever post on here because I always have so much going on, I kind of forget about it. Anyway, that was 2 videos. That was January 12th, 2015. And then and then it wasn't until July that I posted again, July 25th. So, it's like 6.5 months later. The time has come to live your reality. Are you not tired of living the reality of others? I know I was. There is no stopping us from living the life of our dreams, of your dreams. Dreams are meant to be lived, so dream big. This is your life, so prove it. You are a creator, so why not create? Why let others create for you? We live simulative lives created by other people, and since we are creators who are not creating, we are not in harmony with the universe. We are not a part of the universe, we are the universe. If this is hard to conceive, trust me, you will get it in time. If you came to this blog from the creators of our lives, awesome, thank you. If not, please visit here, and then I have creatorsofourlives.com. And welcome to your awakening for those of you who are newbies. I appreciate you all. So, I'm only reading those 2, but I will be reading this whole blog to everyone because it keeps me focused, and it's stuff that some people who aren't aware should be aware of. So I will be on later probably making my soup and talking about other things. Probably 2 more posts from here, another post from Facebook, see what's going on with those peoples and their decisions, and maybe even a paragraph or 2 from my book that I'm still writing. Other than that, thank you for listening, and you have a most awesome day, and blessed be.